People are saying that an alleged ex-girlfriend of JK has now confirmed his current relationship. We also have people saying that JK might be choosing to leave the label currently and choosing to get out of his contracts. And then we have more speculation on the label. Say Dumplings, it's Dave Disci. Let's get into it. Of course, lately with the label being in a scandal and them going through the court system, there's going to be a lot of speculation. And of course, since a lot of this is public and in the court system, people are going to be able to see it and make their own thoughts and opinions on what's actually going on. There has been some speculation as to sort of the situation that happened with Scooter and Braun during the last moments that Scooter was part of the label. I want to get into this and sort of give my opinion because I feel like I've seen several people's opinions floating around. This video is by no means hate or anything like that. It's just what I believe is going on, as a person has obviously talked about what they believe is going on and their thoughts are coming from somewhere, right? But I also wanted to give my thoughts as well. There was this general conversation around the label not being aware of over $140 million in profit being lost. So allegedly it was believed that the CFO, who controls all the money in the label, had no idea about this much in profit, which of course would then imply that the money was being fed somewhere else or being misused. I don't even know how someone could even spend $140 million. I mean, what are you buying? But if you look a bit deeper to what the CFO had said during meetings, he mentioned that the money was spent for the artists and precarious expenses, things like artists' music rights, office repairs, and general growth. It was believed that the money was used for something like that, and it wasn't funneled in something else. Now, whether you believe it was actually used for those things, that's completely up to you, but it was marked down as being used for those things, which of course can cost that much. People have also mentioned things like Scooter Braun quitting and that seeming a bit abrupt, meaning that it seemed as if he was trying to leave as fast as possible or just get out of that situation because he did do something wrong. Now, if you were trying to get out of that situation as fast as you could, I doubt he would be able to escape. It's not like if he did create some sort of fraud or had really big issues, the government officials wouldn't be able to track him down and punish him for it. It's not like he left for the moon. So he would still be around Earth to get prosecuted. It was initially planned that he was going to have a 5-year deal, and I believe that is exactly what has happened. And so he left. He left to become an advisor, and he still allegedly is part of the label, just maybe in a more indirect way. So obviously he did not take the money and run. There's also conversations about how much money the company has lost and overall just why there's been so much loss in the company. This generally has little to do with any sort of scam, but just overall what a business might do. It's really tough to start a business and almost even harder to maintain a business. So one of the easiest ways to grow or to get ahead is to use the money, and you can use the money that you have made to make acquisitions to buy other companies. And sometimes those businesses that you buy might be a mistake. Either they tricked you and the financial records was not what you thought it would be, or you just maybe cannot run it the same way that they can and you let the money kind of slip through the cracks and it ends up being a bad investment. Especially a company like HYBE, who was trying to buy out pretty much anything that they could so that they can expand, they were bound to have these bad deals. And of course, that can be millions to billions of dollars. They're not buying out these small businesses that are worth like $50,000 to $100,000. They're buying multi-million businesses or potentially billion-dollar businesses. And so those mistakes are expensive, to say the least. And especially if it looks like the moment they were purchased, they failed, that can tend to look like a scam, but in reality, that's also just what happens in business. There's also claims of labels losing so much money due to everything that I just said, and label deciding to give the artist a bad deal. So then the label becomes really cheap because they don't have any money, and then they pass that on to the artists. These claims are coming from pandemic era or a little bit post-pandemic, which would mean that it was before the time when BTS decided to re-sign or renew. The boys were not forced to re-sign with their label. Any label that they interact with would be running to sign them and would possibly give them just as good of a deal because they want that. But BTS chose to sign with their label because they probably got a good deal that they were happy with. So that whole thing of it being a scam or artists getting a bad deal, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't think artists are getting bad deals. Otherwise, why would they re-sign? There's also speculations about what the deal is with JK. People have been wondering if he would actually re-sign with his label contract, and there was speculation that he signed an agreement that froze his current deal until after the military. So he signed a deal that would freeze his contract for 18 months, and that 18 months is approaching the end currently right now, and allegedly he did not re-sign the original contract or renew it, even though it's believed he already did do all of that already. So this part is a little weird to me because I don't know where this rumor is coming from. It's literally based on nothing. It's not even a misinterpretation or something that was misread somewhere. It just simply does not exist. Who is saying that he did not renew his contract, and who is saying that he signed a completely different deal? People are writing whole essays about how angry they are about this stuff, and it literally does not exist. I think the point of this is that They want JK to be fed up with the label so he can leave the label and hope that he has no intent of re-signing. And this was supposed to serve as hope for the community or the JK fans that he would go solo. But all of this is obviously insane, and JK likely will remain in the comeback as they have a comeback planned in mid of next year. So I don't think that they would be leaking that or talking about that if they knew that JK was not going to be part of it. I think a lot of this is to feed the fantasy that the label is a bad company. But at a certain point, you have to get with reality and know what is real and what isn't. And I never understood people arguing about something that they literally cannot prove. Whatever JK signed, and even if he did sign this agreement that they're saying he did, how would they have ever known about it? Contracts are never made public, and as of yet, the only thing we know that BTS has come out and said is that they're having a comeback. Specific contracts and agreements that any of the members sign are not public information. Like, we don't know exactly what deals any of the BTS members have signed outside of entertainment. We don't know if they've signed rental agreements. We don't know if they've signed healthcare things. We don't know any of their contracts that they've signed because they're not public. And this is the exact same thing. Only time would tell what is going to happen, and we need to wait to see that. There has been this rumor that has been going on for quite some time that Lee Yoo-bi, who is a Korean actress slash model that apparently used to be the ex-girlfriend of JK. This is a completely fan-made up narrative, and she's been posting a lot more recently, and there was a caption that she posted that said something along the lines of "forget your boyfriend." And several of the comments have now taken this as confirmation that she is talking about JK and Winter simply due to the timing of her post coinciding with a dating rumor, with some people saying that she never dated him and is now yelling directly at her for making up the rumor, with people telling her to stop addressing this or talk about it at all. People are saying she's specifically addressing this based on how active she allegedly is right now due to the dating rumors, with many people saying that she's a genius even for deciding to post right now because she knows that she's going to get a lot of attention, and then others saying forget your boyfriend is not a confession to dating JK or dating anyone. And I agree with that. Saying forget your boyfriend, this would just imply that she's interested in the girlfriend. And I'm not saying she is, but I'm saying that this post does not mean anything about JK or anything at all. It feels like gibberish. People just believe that she was dating JK and are now connecting her to the dating rumor that she never said she was a part of to begin with. The community makes up their own narrative and then sends death threats based on that narrative. Who said she ever dated JK? And then on top of that, who said she's addressing the relationship right now? As if she can't just post while a dating rumor is happening simultaneously. Like, now she has to be aware of every single dating rumor that exists and post around the dating rumor, because if she posts during, then she's in trouble. And I'm not saying that she's doing this, but if someone decides to post during a dating rumor because it ends up being advantageous for them and they end up getting a lot of attention for it, that's not their fault. They're taking advantage of something that the fans have made up, and they're like, well, why not me jump in on this and make some money? Because why not, right? Those were the lemons that you were given. Why not use it in your favor? Most people in entertainment would attempt to capitalize off of anything that was happening, especially if they're part of the conversation. And again, I don't actually think she's doing this. I think she's just posting, and it just happens to be around the time that this is happening. But I don't fault anyone for doing it if they wanted to and for jumping in on it, especially something that she should have never been involved in to begin with. So that now that she is involved in it, people are sending her death threats. Why not capitalize on it? Thinking, well, if I'm going to get threats, then at least let me get paid. And overall, this whole situation is just crazy because, again, this is just a completely made-up fan narrative that people have now been sending threats over. I just can't imagine how delusional some of these people are. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you check out Patreon. I'll leave a link at the top of the description. Thank you so much for this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.